Morning, Nick. This one's strictly directly just for you, mate. It's Shane Carlisle, 19th of the 9th at 9:30 on Monday morning. Yeah, strictly for you, this one, Nick, mate. Possibly the odd other person, but right now, it's literally going straight to you, this, mate. I was on a call with Mark last night, and, you know, we we're all always brainstorming. It's good to get on with your other traders, see what they're seeing, understand what they're looking at. Everybody sees things differently. Like yourself, you've come in, you've absolutely soaked in what we've found, and you're becoming profitable very fast, and that's the whole point of the process. We understand the banks, you understand the banks, so why not drill it down to just get that little percent every day? Obviously, we've all done the maths. Once we've figured out what we're taking out of the market, 1% a day, that's 20% a month. Get yourself a nice little 200k account at 20%. You're living nice on £38,000 a month, and that's just taking that 1% a day. So I think that is the goal for us all. And like yourself, you're absolutely killing it, mate. Myself, I took my 1% before I even fucking got to my desk this morning. We know where it happens. We know what time it happens. So ultimately it's down to us to be there at that time for it to happen. But from what I found last night, if you miss it, there is another opportunity, right? So let me jump through and I'll just show you, mate, because okay, so what I'd noticed, right, is this sort of, see, I did it on the Chief J last night and I went through and checked on a couple others just to certify it. Okay, but just imagine it's like two sessions and one's a setup, one's a play out. Okay, and already just saying that, I bet you can see what I'm on about because smart money. Again, we're still in the 5 minute, right? Because you're getting all the prominent candles and moves. I've checked the 15 minute and you don't get the entries in the 15 minute. Okay, so our normal play, we've had the break, the candle. I probably took me 1% out of that this morning. If I take a short, we've had the break. That would have been my candle. Yeah. So I'd be sat there as it's come back up. Got these set now to 1-to-1s. Makes it well easier, mate. Right. So that's come up. Nearly took me out, but give me my 1%. Yeah. So I'm happy for the day. But if I've missed that through anything, okay, what I noticed is you've had the push away through London, right? And then you've got this window here between the sessions, right? And literally just as the session opened, you came back to that same candle. Well, it was the one just after. You've had the break, but then you had the break again. So it would be that candle. Just as they came into the session, they took it and dropped it out the fucking bottom, mate. Previous lows, like we say, smart money would have give you a 1 to 3.7 if you'd have missed your 1% in the morning. But there's no saying you take your 1%, use that as a buffer. If it breaks during London, automatically just jump back and put a position here, at your candle. Because you could be taking 1 plus 3 and 7. I mean, it did actually go, previous lows there. You got 6.2 out of that. So you took your 1, you risked that 1 on a possible 6.5. And I've gone back and I've tested this theory, mate. Look. Okay. So you've got your London. Treat that as one move, one big London move. This broke it during London. We've come here. Okay, so all this has happened. We've got all this data already. That broke it. I'd class that as my previous highs because this is all new territory that we don't really know nothing about. So again, we're not gambling. I'm not just putting a take profit up here. That would be my next price. So I've set my position. I've covered them both of them candles just on the sole fact it's quite, ruling of thumb is if it's a doji, you glub them together, don't you? But again, previous highs, I took 2%. Already took my 1% here. It broke out. I got my 1%. It floated, but in ultimate, I took 145 out of that. But previous highs, again, would have given me my 1-to-1. Then I take that one. I wait for the break. I come to desk here, see what's happened here, and even though it went the other way, it still gave me previous highs before it went the other way. Didn't quite take that imbalance in the bank move, but it gave me the previous because it liked that price before it went up there. Guessing this is just some kind of imbalance grab from over here. Then it ultimately found its comfort zone, did a bank move and couldn't break up into that, but it gave me what I was after. So one possible risk of a break-even day, but ultimately I took 3%. Then I went back, I did it again, got my 1%. I actually did a sell stop through that. Zach showed me. I won't confuse it too much, but you're quite into bankers and you know what you're talking about. So this is Zach took a trade, and instead of following it back, he set a sell stop here and let it fall through. So I was practicing it just on like a downtrend, just putting a sell stop when it created structure and just letting it drop 10 points. I took 2% there, just letting it drop through price. But that's another little tweaker, not quite. But again, that would have been a no win for me on my 1%. But then I've come to desk here between 11 and 12, 11 and half 12. I might change that to 12. Because 12 normally when I like to do it at 12. So I'll probably change that to 12. But just after 12, they tagged it in and they dropped it for an 8.5. They've created this break, created a ledge. Hang on. Yeah, so I'd have gone off that ledge. Don't know why I'd picked that candle. Wouldn't have picked that candle. It would have been that candle because that leg broke it, so that would have been your candle. But again, bit of arse twitching moment there, but it fell out the bottom for 7.5%. I went back. This is just a session open here, and I've changed because that comes in at 7:30, but I've not figured a way to, because for some reason they're all set at 7.5, 7. And when I change it, it blocks the whole thing out. So I don't understand really. So New York, if I change that, oh, hang on, it'll be New York time. So if I just change that to 7, that should move that blue there. Yeah. So it's doing it by their clock time. So you just want to change that to 7:30 when just before 7 o'clock, just as they open, which then will give you that extra half an hour on your window. I don't know why I didn't see that last night. I must have been tired. But again, that gives us an hour. in between play to look what's broke and possibly see another opportunity to play out through New York. Again here, we're sort of going sideways a bit. Imbalance grab and then a break. I sat at that candle. You know, there's a 6% there. Previous lows, like we keep saying, just to keep it where we know price is comfortable, you'd have took 2.7. Here. Okay, so we actually had the break going into London. You know, that would have been your break. I think I took a 50% because of how much gap was there. I mean, you could have took that. Would that have? It had just sold you out. Oh no, just have been in if you'd have. But I'd have took a, you being you and knowing what you know, I'd have banged my fib on that. You know, once that had happened, once I'd had that move and that sort of rest there, I'd have gone for a 50% of that consolidation. I know you're not a daft brush. It's just another little cushion for your entry. So it sort of split that price. And ultimately they came that's how I took my entry on that. But this is seasoned traders, you know, this is stuff that we've spent hours learning that the newbies won't know about. You know, they'd have probably took that and missed the play. But because I know I've got more of a chance when coming back to 50% of that consolidation through volume trading when I was in IM with Anastasia and Nick Engels and all that lot, you know, I know that you're better off taking a 50% after a break to get an entry. And it worked, you know, 6.1 previous highs. Previous highs are there. I got a 5.8. But I got my 1% because that broke it. And that gave me my 1% there. You know, so I could risk that 1% now, or even half of that, on a possible setup that's happened in London and then played out through New York. You know, it's like a show, mate. You know, they're spending 4 hours here making up the play. I mean, you could probably even tighten that to, I don't know, 10:30. Because most of your actions happened at 10:30. I mean, let's have a look what I put London to 10:30. Should just knock a little bit off. That. You know, so it's given me my signal during London. They've come back to 50% of where they pushed off from, and then they've took the market. So we've got the little move for the percent in the morning. And then if you've been away for a few hours, you've got that spare hour between 11 and 12 or 10:30 and 12. You know, it tagged you in at 11, 5 to 11 there. So even just being at your computer there when the session ends at 10:30 or even like 10 half, between 10 and 10:30, there's a possibility of catching like 6.3 there. And that's like we say, previous highs. Okay. Want to try and find one that loses so you can see it. Right, so we've had, I took my 1%, yeah, it broke. We came back with that wick there. Oh, hang on. That broke. That gave me my candle. You know, I took my 1% very easily on that trade. Don't know why that's there. Okay, so that's my setup done for the day. Took my 1% just from a rejection of a wick off of bankers. Yes, it went for more, but wait. Okay, I come to computer here. Nothing's really broke. It's just been imbalance grabbing. We've had a rejection off this imbalance here. Okay, massive rejection going through our sort of window where we're looking. Breaker structure here. You could ultimately pick that one like I did. Very, very tight. You know, so you'd possibly look to just take the one behind it. Because it sort of matches with a wick anyway. So it's a price where they've collected some imbalance from there before, you know, so it's a nice sort of area to look for. Again, through volume trading, you know, if there's a lot of candles at that area, solid or wicks, that it's a point of interest, regardless of how far back it goes. Like, look, keep scrolling back, you'll see it likes that price. Some noise here, some noise here, rejections. They're not support and resistance, they're just orders that they can't push through. Okay, they've come up, they've took that imbalance, they've rejected. Through the window, we've seen the break. We've picked this because it's a 50%. Again, 50% of the volume. You know, your previous lows would have been here, but I'd be looking here because of all just them three-bodied candles there. You know, again, you've had a couple of big ones there. So that would be a safe target for me, which it rejected, give me 4%. Ultimately turned around by the looks of it, knocked me out. But because I had that safe point that what was imbalanced down here, yes, it would have, if you're one of them greedy monsters, you'd have probably set here for that banker's move. But because I'd seen these big candles that are already here, because we're somewhere here now, watching it turn around, you know, yes, it could come up and blow out, but we've already got the percent that saved that from affecting the account to take 4%. Yes, it came up. Ultimately, it turned around. But this is where you need to be looking for the setup, the play out. Safe targets. Still at 10 points, so we're not struggling. You know, if you wanted to just take another 1-to-1 out of it. But I've noticed the play up and the set out and the play out, set up, play out, you're always getting your previous lows. Set back. Let's see what happened there. Okay. Again, we've come to computer here. Let's have a look. Right, so you're not taking your 1%, I don't think, out of that today. Maybe here. Class that as your break, but I'd see that as an imbalance grab. So I wouldn't like to really trade into that until this has been broken, which it did. That broke it. But again, it's played out. Yeah. That broke it, that candle. So we sat here. You know, New York hit the play out. Previous highs. You know, you'll pad that. So I'm guessing I always pad by at least 3. Ultimately, like you've got no targets back here, you know, so you're always just going for where it's been before. But it's 3%. Yes, you miss your 1%, but you've watched it play out. You've seen the break. this body here broke this, or sat here where there's a flat bottom white, which as we know, oh, you're nearly flat. You know, there's not a lot of the dumping money, mate. Created this imbalance. Yes, it could completely play out wrong, but through the back testing, mate, the play out, the setup, short window, the play out, you know, and that ultimately, when for a 1 to 9, you know, so even if you take your percent and risk 0.5% of your takings on a trade like this at this time, you know, you could have took 4.5% there, even at 0.5% risk. I can't work. How far did I go back? See, this one happened within London, but again, you'd have took your 1%. That was your break. Okay, so that would have been your candle. Or would you took the earlier break there? But then these would have knocked you out. So yeah, possibly you'd have waited for that break, but that would have knocked you out. That's a bank move that's not been touched. This was a no trade day, really, by the looks of it, or a loss. We were following ruling. That would have been your candle. Your 1 to 1. You did actually get your 1 to 1. Did you? No, it fell out and then give it you. So that was a loss, but it left an exposed bank move that's not been touched yet in the window of when the banks are in play. This is what, yes, it struck another light bulb moment last night. Why would I be looking for bank moves here when the banks aren't in play here? You know, the banks are here. So the only candles I want to be really looking at and taking any sort of interest in are the bankers' moves that are left within bankers' windows when the bankers are in the markets. You know, yes, this is just big investors, not really creating any kind of bank moves as such. But then when the banks come in play, you get the vivid bank moves, you know. Bankers' candles, bankers' candles. Here, you broke out again into New York. Break. You class that as your break. You got that move there. 10 points. You got it within 2 candles because of the break into the session. Yes, ultimately, if we were looking for the big move on this, it came up, rested. I'd have expected it to come back down and tag that and then go off, possibly where it is now, turn there, tag it and go, but they didn't want to today. You know, so if we adjusted and adapted to a 1 to 1 again, you know, we've created another break here, we've settled, and then it broke into the session. So I would be looking for that candle for a 1 to 1. Didn't take a trade here. No, I did. I lost, but then I took my one back. Only 2 trades, placing 2 trades a day on the possible return of previous lows over the 2 sessions. But like I was saying, this won't be going out to everybody. Just the people I think who understand what I'm talking about so I don't have to outlay it like yourself. You've been in abundance, you know about all this jargon that I can just speak about. See, this one happened. You'd have got your 1-to-1 out of that, but this one happened actually in London. So again, it's just training your eyes to see in these windows are the opportunities. And the 1% opportunities are what are going to make you a free man. You know, we've had the break of structure. This was the one that I didn't want to move my stop loss. So actually, we're at a 1-to-10 now. 10 to, so that would have won this. And again, I don't think there were previous lows because we're in price that, you know, the Jap yen's getting stronger, I think. You're getting less for your money, so the Jap yen's getting stronger. But it finished on a 1-to-8, you know, previous highs as a 1-to-7. So you've took your 1%, risked that 1%, took another 1.7, so you're 2% up. But only trading in the sessions. What happened here? Have a look at the session. Okay, so that would have been your session break there because it created structure in the session. It broke in the session. It gave me that white candle there with my 1-to-1, you know, or you could say your previous highs, give you a 1-to-2. You got any other previous highs? Now we're down here, you know, you could say there, 1-to-3, where all that noise is coming out of that box. I mean, you play it out till New York and then close whatever happens at the end of New York. So New York actually sold you out at 4.5 here. We've had the play. Let me get rid of that. Okay, that's broke it during the window between the two sessions, which give me that candle. I've shorted it from my 10 points. I got me one to, but again, previous lows at this time, with a high chance we're going to hit the previous lows because of the volume in the market. You know, so that's gone from a loss to a win. Because we had the break, that would have been my candle. Oh, we're going up, sorry. So we had the break. I'd have got my 1% out of that. You know, that'd have been my break candle. There. That would have given me this candle. So that was a loss. Following the rule. Well, the rule of thumb is as it breaks the session. So, and that actually broke on session candle there. Which again, believing in what we do, would have given me that candle. At 10 points. It'd give it me. So it was a win. How we do things now. Broke at 7. Give me that candle. Entry. Yes, it came very close. But give me 1%. Which then give me the ammunition to line up for something here that's coming out of the London, breaking so much shit down here to come back just as the session ends at 4 o'clock, 5-4. So then giving me my previous lows, you know. So 378, 11, 478. We've managed to catch the big move while using the little move to fund it. Mate, game changing. Tried it on. Did I try it on the GU? I think I did. Not blag your head too much. GU, that happened nicely. Tag just dropped me out here. Boom. But let's have a look now, because we're in that sort of window. Just coming into that window. And it's breaking all kinds of structure here. Or is it doing a liquidation grab for that? Again, we'll mark that up, see what happens. I'm guessing that might be what they're looking for the rejection. Okay, so I'd possibly look to put, again, that came out of a session. So that's a move I'm interested in. Long 10. Previous highs. Okay. Going for a bank move that they pushed off from yesterday. 10-point stop loss. Could win, could lose. But what happened here? There you go. We had the break during the window where we're sat at the computer. Yeah. So we've got a long position on that candle. Pissed off out for the day. Settings. Sets me 10 points. You put your previous highs of where it created. You know, you missed your 1% here. You might have caught it here when it broke again into the session. Didn't quite, this was just noise before the session. And it created this structure within the session. So you'd have probably got your 1-to-1 out of that. From there. You know, so now you've got your money to put this on. And that actually went for its previous highs, and that imbalance got a 1-to-6. So you're getting your little pocket change that makes you a living. And then if you're happy with that, stick it. But the way it's looking, mate, if you want to gamble that, not gamble, sorry, wrong, stupid word. If you want to risk that on the possibility for the day of coming out another 3-4% up, you know, if you can take that every day as well, you just 4x your income. Purple and blue sessions. Okay, so I don't think we'd have caught this one. Break that candle, so you wouldn't have actually caught that move today, but it didn't lose, it didn't blast through, you know. I must have done a sell stop on that, but actually the way it came up and rested, I'd have looked to put a sell stop for that to fall for, you know, and these are the little tweaks that we can make because we know what we're doing. I want to teach people a strategy that will give them 1% a day. But the people like yourself and Danny, who have got your own minds and your own ways of thinking about how we do things, you know, these are the little tricks like your 50% consolidation entries, you know, bring that on. If you'd have took 50% of that noise, you know, you'd have just got tagged in here. But these are the little things that would blag a new person's head, but obviously not yourself because you spent the time in abundance to understand all the Fibonacci's, the golden zone, the IPA, that you've done the graph, mate. Now it's a case of just implementing it in certain time windows. I've noticed everybody's on at 7 o'clock in the morning. Dave, Jason, they're all logged in at that time. Paul Turner, all the people that I know are profitable in this market are on at this time in the morning. And that just tells me that that's the time to be in the markets. If you want to reach out to anybody in the trading world who's doing anything, 7 o'clock in the morning, you pretty much know when you're getting a reply back because the trading's done for the day. But again, if you was looking for this to be the setup, that would have been your break. You'd have picked that candle. You'd have gone for your previous lows that were already there. And you'd have took a 1 to 7 plus your 1. Yeah. See, I didn't mark these, but again, it's there. Can see it. It happened. There's your play out. So you could either have gone off that break, or if you come in here, like we're saying, you'd have gone off that break, which would have given you that candle, which needs moving to 10. Previous highs during New York give you a 2.5. You'd have got your that would have been your previous structure. But I'm only looking for a buy because markets broke all this here with that big imbalance, broke all that. It had to reach out just again to clear all the base up. So they're sitting tidy at that price now for a fucking rocket off. Seeing this happen while I'm sat, it's broke it. My alarm's gone off because it's broke my line for a buy. I've sat at this candle. I've got my 1 to 1. It's broke again. I've risked me 1 to 1 and come off with a 2.5 plus me 1 because it didn't sell it. No, I don't think there'll be anywhere catching this. This is why they do these. Obviously, it's in a buy market. Yes, you'd have took your. Would you have took your one? Oh, it was a buy stop I was looking at on that one. Sort of created a ledge, but ultimately the market's coming up. So I'd have edged my bets to put a stop just to fall through it and get me 10 pips, which it did. But looking at it through you're going up, it's sort of crumbling down. Well, there's nothing up here that you could take a sell position off. It broke out, so you'd be looking to take a buy off here. Because that leg broke all this, and this is where they sort of players at their own game as such, they can't do this every time because look how much money that's going to cost them. Yes, they've probably just made themselves quite a lot of money. But ultimately, we just lost 1%, because you would have been sat there. That was a lovely break. It broke it to a new price. It rested, little tag down. It looked beautiful. But I think this is when the CPIs come out. So you sat there because they've got to come and clear all this up without a shadow of a doubt. But possibly once they get back here, that'd be the true price. So I'd just wait for a reaction of something like that. It could take them ages to climb back to eat that. Where are they? They're here. You know, there's best part of 350 pip move. You know, to get themselves back up there is going to cost a lot of money, so they may as well carry on dropping. But again, mate, let me see if there's some in the Euro US just to show you. So it sort of drills in. See how we're busting out of. We've took the 1%, so we're not bothered. Yeah, that's been done. That was done here. Now we're looking to see a play out. They've created a bank move just coming out of the London session. You know, yes, we're in a, well, I'd say we're in a buying market. Looking at that, they want this, don't they? That's 1, 2, 3, 4 days ago. They're going to work their way up to eat that, personally. You've had the collection from here, which you'd have got another 1-to-1 off. But now, my vision's here. You know, I'm going to see how far they push off now. Have a 1-to-1 position there. I might even look to place this if it breaks off nicely. Pick my previous highs. You know, but I'm going to wait until I've seen a clear break to then hopefully have a nice New York play out. On here, New London played. That broke through London. You know, you'd have got your 1-to-1 out of there. But then if you'd have left it to play the New York for your previous lows, it'd give you 3% before ultimately turning around and taking you out. But again, we know it likes this price because it created imbalance at that price. So if they were going to move it up again, they'd need to eat that before taking off. So you took your 1% there. You could have even set another position there once it came down and got 4%. But you're still getting your 1%. And that 1% then becomes the risk on your bigger move. Here, we broke up. Would have given me that candle. I'd have took my 1% out of there. Let's just have a quick look. That white one there, 1-to-1. Yeah, got my 1-to-1. We were trending down, but it showed me a break up. So I took a buy. We retracted, come back. And then on the bigger picture, that's my 1%. We broke the structure during the session, which gave me that candle. 10 points. Previous highs. 2.1. With ease. Yeah, we had a bit of red action here. But we're out. We've seen this. We've identified where we want to be, and we've closed off and disappeared. Okay. Won't rabbit on anymore, mate. But obviously, I know you've got a trained eye, and once you see it, once you see this, I know you'll see it. You know, so I'll get it converted now, mate, and get it sent over to you so you can have a watch later. West Day, mate, to the moon and back.